This week, students return to the campus of Vermont State University for the new semester. The school has a new name. It's been through some changes and not without controversy. It led to the appointment of a familiar face to lead the schools. Mike Smith spoke this week with our own Jack Thurston.
We're joined this morning by the interim president of Vermont State University, Mike Smith, on the job till November 1st, correct?
That's correct, Jack.
Well, it wasn't too long ago that the state colleges system was, frankly, in crisis. Could you start by telling us what the health is of the system today?
Yeah, I think what I want to describe what has happened in the past is we needed to settle everything down. One of the first goals I had was to settle everything down when I first got here, because an organization can't progress, can't move forward without having some ability to reconcile all the issues that it's dealing with. And so the first thing I did was to rescind the library and the sports program previous decisions that were made. Not that we won't do some digitizing of libraries, but we'll do it differently where it comes from the bottom up as we move forward. So we settled that down in, the controversy, all that, by just saying, let's do it differently than what we have been doing. The second thing we had to do was get accreditation, and we've got accreditation now. These were the goals that I sort of set out.
And that's new as of July,
That's brand new as of July. We have 5 campuses spread throughout the state, geographically located, to accommodate 70% of our student body are Vermonters, and to accommodate Vermont students as we move forward. The third thing that I thought was really critical is, and that's the phase I'm in now, is to look at the financial sort of sustainability of the system. And we're doing several things in order to do that. One is we're moving towards class size and looking at class size. We have class sizes that are too small now. 50% of our classes on the northern campuses are 10 students or less. 30% at the Castleton campus is 10 students or less. We need to bring that up to at least 18 to 19 students. And the reason for that is that that's fiscally more sustainable. Second of all, it's a better student experience with that class. 2 large classes are not a great experience, but 2 small classes don't help with the student experience. And thirdly, our peer groups, those universities and colleges on a 150-mile radius of us, are right around there, about 19 students per classroom. So it's important. The other thing we need to do is our enrollment is down around 19% for this year. I budgeted 15% down because there was a lot of activity as you bring in sort of all these entities together. I figured that there would be some deterioration of our enrollment. But it's gone above what I had anticipated. I budgeted 15, it's at 19. We have some reserve funds to cover the difference, but we need to get our enrollment up as well. So we've developed a strategic plan. We're putting the finishing touches on that strategic plan for the 24 enrollment period, and moving forward. That includes broader marketing, that includes more targeted marketing, that includes looking at the non-traditional student. I'm a non-traditional student, first generation, looking at those individuals and how we can attract them to the university. An interesting statistic, we have a high school graduation rate in this state, but 45% don't go on to higher education. And we need to change that. We need to figure out how we can attract those individuals, those Vermonters, into higher education as we move forward. We also have got to expand those programs that are doing well. nursing being one of them. But there are others as well. But we have $6.3 million, thanks to Senator Leahy, to expand the facilities for our nursing program. We plan to do that for 2024 as well. That will help enrollment, but it will also help us maintain the leadership position we are in training nurses and critical jobs here in the state.
They are so needed. Now tell me about the financial situation that you alluded to. You're in this position where the legislature has shored up the university with investments. They are investments, frankly. But you have a deficit you need to pay down.
That's right.
A $25 million structural deficit. How does an organization maintain a high quality of service to its students and its community while also cutting costs? How do you achieve that?
Yeah, that's a really good question, Jack, and here's what we're doing. The legislature is giving us a few years in order to reduce that structural deficit. In the meantime, they've been helping us out as we move forward. So we've been cutting $5 million a year in order to eliminate that $25 million deficit. At the end of this fiscal year, we'll be down to $17 million as we move forward. So we are making progress. The way that we've structured it on this, it's a small percentage of our budget. And so it doesn't have it's meaningful in having some impact because people and programs are impacted, and there's no getting around that. But it's not a massive amount where it creates havoc in our program as we're moving forward. So, you know, the legislature did its part in helping us out. I really am happy to do our part in order to show what we can do in order to move forward. In my mind, it was a win-win. It's a win for the state, and it's a win for us to get rid of that structural deficit.
Excellent. And if you increase enrollment, as you said you aim to do, that would, of course, help in that goal.
That would absolutely help in that goal.
Seems to me, I'm no marketing expert, but it seems to me that a message that would really connect with Vermont students is about the affordability of getting a degree from Vermont State University. Boy, you can graduate with a lot less of a
Right.
burden from
Right.
debt. Tell me about that.
That's true. About a year ago, we made the decision to reduce our tuition. Our tuition is now under $10,000 for virtually most programs. There are a few programs where there are fees that elevate that a little bit, mostly in the specialty fields where there are more fees, engineering, nursing, those types of fields. But it's if you look around, that's an affordable education for people. And we thought it was important to lower tuition and be transparent with our sticker prices as we move forward. So we're happy to be affordable. There's scholarships available as well, either through VSAC or through scholarships and loans, either through VSAC or in our own programs as we look at each individual applicant. And I'm happy where we are with the position that we've maintained, trying to reduce the cost for students.
It can be such a burden, as I said. Now, in the minute we have remaining, tell me, you've been in this job for a couple months now. You are graduating, as it were, November 1st. Fundamentally, are you optimistic about the future of the state college system?
I am. There's a lot of work that needs to be done, but I am optimistic about the future. First of all, this institution, Vermont State University, is needed in the state. It's needed for the state of Vermont. It's needed for the students of Vermont. It's needed for the workforce, because we educate the workforce for the state of Vermont, whether it's an electrician or a plumber or a nurse or a pilot or an engineer or anything in between. We educate the critical needs of the state for its workforce. So, you know, the state of Vermont's critical for our students. We are, 70% of Vermonters, so it's a normal place. We have a lot of work to do, but I'm optimistic. I can see, a successful outcome here at Vermont State University.
Good. Well, thank you for your service to Vermont. Mike Smith, the interim president of Vermont State University, and thanks for being with us this morning.
Thank you, Jack.